So, today we're going to talk about Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai. And actually the great story of Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai and the huge impact he had on Judaism as we know it. So I'm reading from the Gemara, and we're going to tell the story of Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai and the way that he saved Judaism until today. The Gemara relates, Abba Sikra was the leader of the Zealots of Jerusalem and the son of the sister of Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai. Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai sent a message to him. Come to me in secret. He came, and Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai said to him, until when will you do this and kill everyone through starvation? Abba Sikra said to him, what can I do? For if I say something to them, they will kill me. Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai said to him, show me a method so that I will be able to leave the city, and it is possible that through this there will be some small salvation. Small salvation. Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai is saying Hatzala Purta in Aramaic, meaning a small salvation. That's what Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai wants for his generation and the generations after. He is in Yerushalayim. He walks through the streets of Yerushalayim, seeing the city under siege, seeing starvation everywhere, diseases, kids that are utterly hungry, and parents that are losing their children. And through all this grief, he says, all I want is a small salvation. Hatzala Purta. Abba Sikra said to him, this is what you should do. Pretend to be sick and have everyone come and ask about your welfare, so that word will spread about your ailing condition. Afterwards, bring something ported and place it near you, so that people will say that you have died and are decomposing. And then have your students enter to bring you to burial, and let no one else come in, so that the zealots not notice that you are still light, as the zealots know that a living person is lighter than a dead person. So they are plotting together to have a situation in which they're making as if Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai is dead and his body will be carried outside of the city. Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai did this. Rabbi Eliezer entered from the side and Rabbi Yoshua from the other side. Take him out. When they arrived at the entrance of the city, on the inside, the guards who were of the faction of the Zealots wanted to pierce him with their swords in order to ascertain that he was actually dead, as was the common practice. Abba Sikra said to them, the Romans will say that they pierce even their teacher. The guards then wanted to at least push him to see whether he was still alive, in which case he would cry out on account of the pushing. Abba Sikra said to them, they will say that they push even their own teacher. The guards then opened the gates and he was taken out. So the body of Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai is actually being taken out of the city, because we don't leave a dead body inside of Yerushalayim during the night. So what we usually do is take out the body outside of Yerushalayim and then bring it back to burial only after the night is over. And that's what they're doing, thinking that Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai has died. When Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai reached there, i.e. the Roman camp, he said, greetings to you the king, greetings to you the king. That's how he relates to the local emperor. Vespasian said to him, you are liable for 2 death penalties. One, because I am not a king, and yet you call me king. And furthermore, if I am a king, why didn't you come to me until now? 2 reasons for a death penalty. A, I'm not a king and you called me a king. And B, if I am a king, why didn't you come to me until now? Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai said to him, "As for what you said about yourself, I am not a king. In truth, you are a king. If not now, then in the future. As if you are not a king, Yerushalayim will not be handed over into your hands. As it is written, and the Lebanon shall fall by a mighty one. And mighty one means only a king. As it is written, and their mighty one shall be of themselves, and their ruler shall proceed from the midst of them." Indicating that mighty one parallels ruler, and Lebanon means only the temple. What is Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai doing here? He is quoting the Torah in order to learn reality and to understand reality in a better way. And that's what he's explaining it to him. "And as for what you said with your second comment, if I am a king, why didn't you come to see me until now? There are zealots among us who did not allow us to do this." So two things Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai is telling to the local emperor. A, you're about to be king. Otherwise, Yerushalayim will not be given to you. And B, there are zealots amongst us. Meaning he understands that Yerushalayim is not in a good place, that there are wrongdoings in Yerushalayim, and that there is a reason for the great decree that it's about to be completely ruined and destroyed. He understands that Yerushalayim is not in its original status, not in its original place. Understanding that Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai was prepared to ask him not to destroy the temple, Vespasian said to him, "If there is a barrel of honey and a snake is wrapped around it, wouldn't they break the barrel in order to kill the snake? In similar fashion, I am forced to destroy the city of Yerushalayim in order to kill the zealots barricaded within it." Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai was silent and did not answer. So not only Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai understands that Yerushalayim is not in a good place, but also the local emperor is telling Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai, look what is happening here. We have a barrel of honey, but we have a snake that is wrapped around it. And we have a real problem. And in order to kill the snake, I have to destroy the barrel of honey. I understand that the temple is holy. I understand that it's pure like honey. But I don't have anything else to do but actually ruin the temple, destroy Yerushalayim because of the snake around it. And Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai in response is silent, meaning he agrees with him. In light of that, Rav Yosef later read the following verse about him, and some say it was Rabbi Akiva who applied the verse to Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai. I am the Lord who turns wise men backward and makes their knowledge foolish. Meaning, Rabbi Akiva has a lot to say about this decision. Rabbi Akiva disagrees strongly with the notion of Hatzala Purta, small salvation. But rather, Rabbi Akiva says, you should have asked for Yerushalayim. You should have asked, you take off the snake, you kill the snake, but you leave the barrel of honey intact. That's what Rabbi Akiva says. In such a case, we take tongues, remove the snake and kill it. And in this way, we leave the barrel intact. So you too, you should kill the rebels and leave the city as it is. That's what Rabbi Akiva says. That his awful criticism against Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai. Of course, Rabbi Akiva is only generations later on. In the meantime, as they were talking, a messenger arrived from Rome and said to him, "Rise, for the emperor has died, and the noblemen of Rome plan to appoint you as their leader and make you the next emperor." Meaning the local emperor suddenly has become king, exactly like Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai has predicted. And when he tried to put the at that time, Vespasian was wearing only one shoe, and when he tried to put on the other one, it would not go on his foot. He then tried to remove the other shoe that was already wearing, but it would not come off. He said, "What is this?" Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai said to him, "Be not distressed or troubled, for good tidings have reached you. As it is written, good tidings make the bone fat, and your feet have grown fatter out of joy and satisfaction." Vaspian said to him, "But what is the remedy? What must I do in order to put on the other shoe?" Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai said to him, "Have someone with whom you are displeased come and pass before you, as it is written, a broken spirit dries the bones." He did this, and his shoe went on his foot. Vaspian said to him, "Since you are so wise, why didn't you come to see me until now?" Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai said to him, "Why didn't I already tell you?" Vaspian said to him, "I also told you what I had to say." So there are different layers to the conversation between Vaspanians and Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai. Different layers that teach us about both of them as human beings. We have Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai, who is extremely wise and learned in the Torah, and is taking the Torah just like we take science to learn the world, and he learns the world through the Torah. He teaches Vaspanians how to react to the fact that he cannot wear his second shoe because his foot is suddenly larger, just because of the great news that he had become a king. And the Gemara is telling us all of that in order to show us who is Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai. Vaspian then said to Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai, "I am going to Rome to accept my new position, and I will send someone else in my place to continue besieging the city and waging war against it. But before I leave, ask something of me that I can give you." So look exactly what the local emperor is saying. He's telling Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai, ask from me something that I can give you. Don't ask from me something that I cannot give you, i.e. Yerushalayim. Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai said to him, "Give me Yavne and its sages." It's a very famous phrase, "Ten li Yavne v'chachameha." He is taking the spirit of Yerushalayim. He's actually taking the neshama of Yerushalayim, moving it to Yavne. He's taking the sages of the time, the Rabbanim of the time, the great students, moving it to Yavne. And give me Yavne and its sages, and do not destroy it, and spare the dynasty of Rabban Gamliel, and do not kill them, as is it if they were released. Lastly, give me doctors to heal Rabbi Tzadok. Rav Yosef read the following verse about him, and some say it was Rabbi Akiva. So again, we get the criticism of Rabbi Akiva upon this decision, who applied the verse to Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai. "I am the Lord who turns wise men backward and makes their knowledge foolish." As he should have said to him, "Leave the Jews alone this time." But he didn't. He asked for three things. He asked for Yavne and the sages. He asked for the dynasty of Rabban Gamliel. And he asked for a doctor for Rabbi Tzadok. And why didn't Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai make this request? He maintained that Vaspian might not do much for him, and there would not even be a small amount of salvation. Therefore, he made only a modest request, in the hope that he would receive at least that much. I think another thing, not only that he was sure that Vaspian is not going to give him the small salvation. I think that Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai knew that the decree did not come from the Romans. The decree came from the Lord. And it's only Hashem's decision that actually Yerushalayim will be completely destroyed. And the person or the power that we should talk to in front of about Yerushalayim is not Vespanius, but actually it's Hashem. And if we want to change the destiny of Yerushalayim, is through prayer. And all we need now is a small salvation. Because Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai is a realistic human being with loads of responsibility towards his community. And he says, let's leave the big ideal of Yerushalayim, of the temple. Currently, let's save Judaism. Because he says there is Judaism after the temple. It's not all to do only with the temple. And it's only thanks to him that we have Judaism after the times of the temple. So this is Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai and the great story of how he saved Judaism after the times of the temple.